Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name's Hamna and I share these sessions every day while I'm trying to for Ramzan, that I share a little grid, a little art exercise and a bit about the name of Allah that I get guided to intuitively for the particular day. And Alhamdulillah, today's name is Ya Fattah, and it's a beautiful name. It's very grounding. In my book that I'm using, as you can see on the screen, it's number 18. So I'll read a little bit about it first, and then I will share the exercise. And while you're working on the exercise, I'll share a little bit of insights, what comes through. I am not a scholar or a teacher of any kind. This is completely out of passion, and my personal journey connected to the names of Allah were started. I can't even remember when, but it's the names have held me very tightly, and it was something that I was doing on my own, and I never realized the power each name has had on my own self. And I personally did it just as a way because I was lazy to pick up the Quran and understand the whole meaning and the ayat. And it was, the names felt like smaller in size, and diving into them felt less of a work, which I didn't realize at the time what I was getting into. But every single name is like an ocean in its own self, and not the ocean that we see in the world, but I think the ocean that one name has, or is, the meanings, the depth, the guidance. Like every time I pick the name up, I'm taken into a new world of exploration. It's almost like a child getting to know its Allah through this particular name, and it's like the world just opens up and there's no end to it. Like there's no like, I've understood this name and now I'm like a scholar in it. I feel like every time it takes me in, it makes me, of course, a different person, leaves a different impact in my energy, and it's exactly what I needed in that moment. And the names are so powerful, but I'm not gonna lie, I did not believe in them. And if you asked me, Hamna, do you know them by heart, 99 names? I would say no, I don't. I mean, when they're going on the TV, or when it's being recited in on YouTube, I've heard. I can kind of recall them, but not necessarily know them by heart. And so, like I said, I'm not a scholar. Whatever it is I share is completely based on my own intuition. And the art grids that I share are something that made sense to me, as an act of expression, basically, because I have a reading disorder, and at some level they say, oh, you could be autistic, or you could be I don't know what the other one is, but anyway, I'm like, so I have this reading issue, which I never made a big deal out of it, and I kept going on with, okay, I can't read, I accept, move on. So when it came to expression, I personally did not know how to write, or to even read, and it was such a struggle in school. And I used to sit there going, I don't know how other people are doing it, and I don't know how to do it. But what made sense to me was the creation of the grids. Everything was like, I used to break everything down in my bio class, and if the animals had a certain characteristics, how I learned about reptiles was by making certain grids and formatting them into charts and flow charts, and things like that. And I always was very interested in numerological algebra, and I couldn't work out how this is going to come to use in my life. But it all makes sense, how Allah slowly is opening your doors in your mind, and some doors are closed, but that doesn't mean that you can't do something, because there's a qadr, there's something written for us. So if you're here and you're with me on this journey, then sometimes we aren't able to see our own talents, is what I'm trying to get to, but there is something within us that when we go on the path closer to Allah, connect to Him, He slowly opens those doors for us to guide us back towards that what He created us for. So through life, He will train you in different ways. So for me, it was the grids that made sense. And now when I do the names of Allah and the ayat of Quran, I it makes sense to me because I break them apart in a very visual way, and not through theory but through my intuition. And that's what I was being trained to all my life. And when people ask me, Hamna, where are you getting this from? I actually, in all honesty, I'm in awe of where are they coming, because I know personally that I'm not the one doing this. So I completely trust in when a grid comes, it just comes, and I don't hold it or question it. I just know this is happening, this is Allah wanting me to do, for I am in His control, and full surrender and submission to whatever will be is for my best good. So I've never pointed out and made a big deal about being autistic or having writing and reading disorder. A lot of people made fun of me of the way I write and will correct me all the time. And at times it would be great, but at times it would be like, okay, you know what? This doesn't stop me. And the more people correct me, I never took it as something that they're trying to fix in me and or make fun of me. When they used to make fun of me, oh, Hamna's English is blah blah and she never checks words. I don't think it's about checking. Even if I did check, I would still make the same mistakes, because that's just who I am. Words don't have words aren't my tool to express. My way of expression is through my art, and coming to understand that whatever things I have, like could be my faults or flaws or whatever, it's not my flaws, it's the way I have accepted that I am, and they don't stop me from moving forward into whatever it is that I'm here to do. So I don't know why I had to share all this, but maybe if that's something that resonates with you, do let me know in the comments. In that, sometimes we feel like, I don't know why I'm here. What is my purpose? The more you connect to Allah, the more we connect to, His attributes, His names, His word, His messenger, the more our purpose will, one after the other. It's like a key, like it'll unlock, right? We will keep going one level up. And that's how I feel I got to mine. And I'm praying, inshallah ta'ala, whoever listens to this video, may Allah guide you to your purpose in a way where it is soft, gentle, and not overwhelming for you to bring into this world, inshallah ta'ala. So with that, I will read the name Ya Fattah. Al-Fattah means both to begin and to open. Through it, you begin to open your heart to the infinite possibilities of the Divine Presence. With Al-Fattah, the opening is continuous. It is an enlightenment that keeps happening. Al-Fattah brings great power to clear the way of obstacles and open the path of your life for success. Basically, Ya Fattah is a name that will remove all the things that come in your way. So for example, in my scenario, when I say that I have reading disorder, writing disorder, and my messages are always jumbled words, and there's always some kind of mistake in that, that does not stop me from continuing. So Ya Fattah helps me to overlook my flaws and keep moving towards that what I'm here to do, rather than taking those criticisms and people bullying me as a way like, oh my God, that I'm defined by what they see me as. I say, okay, yes, that's who I am. I acknowledge it. I understand there are some flaws in me, but that's pretty much it, right? So Allah has a way of clearing away the obstacles. So He won't let you focus on these little things in your life, and He'll open your path to bigger things in life, right? It is the one who opens the heart to love and ecstasy. You see, if I was to get stuck in saying, oh, this defines me, oh, I'm lazy, that's why I didn't do the Quran and I did Allah's names, then I would be judging myself, and I'd be like, not allowing myself to find the beauty that the Quran came to me much later It opened itself when I was ready for it. But for me to be ready for it, I was guided to the names first, and that's okay. So it's not like I'm lazy. When I say lazy, I say it in a very funny way. I don't mind being lazy. I actually think it's a very good thing to do in this life, because everybody is so like hyper doing things. I kind of like sitting back. And I always say this: every word has a positive and a negative. Now the brain, the society washes your brain in a way to make you think, oh, you're lazy, and that's negative. For me, lazy is sitting back and allowing things to unfold as they're meant to, rather than always pushing and trying myself. I just sit back. But for me, lazy is kind of like a phase where I'm more meditative, like it'll happen. I know it will happen. I have trust, I have faith, but not in a negative way. I hope I made sense there. It is the one who opens the heart to love and ecstasy. What Ya Fattah does is it makes you not only overlook whatever your flaws and things are, but it also pushes you ahead towards love, towards that what you're here to do. It doesn't let your flaws define you, but what it does is it tells you that this is what you have, this is your limitations or whatever it is, but you're still lovable. And there are always going to be opportunities. If not through this door, another door will open. So your heart opens to love and ecstasy, meaning you'll be opened to different places where you'll be able to feel ecstasy and love in the world. So don't get too like, oh my god, this has happened, this is how I am. Start defining yourself. I am blah blah, I'm never gonna do this, I can't do that. That's not connecting with Ya Fattah. Ya Fattah opens you, opens the heart to love and ecstasy through the doors that it knows are best for you. Al Fatah means to open something with something else, a key, meaning like to open something. For me to get to Allah's names, I had to feel lazy about the Quranic ayat, and then that door got closed, and then I opened this one because of my laziness. I keep calling it laziness, but I think because of that thing that I had, like, oh my god, this is too big, I don't think I can jump into Quran. I went into the names of Allah, and I realized, and let me be honest here, it was not even the names of Allah that I went for. I went straight for healing my emotions. I was very clear that I needed to heal myself. And before I get to know Allah, I needed to know myself. And Allah was not even in the picture when I started emotionally healing my internal world and did my whole journey towards inner child healing and, mother wound, father wound, generational trauma. All that jazz that I did was the beginning, and that unlocked my connection with my creator, and that then the names came in, and then came the Quran. And so today I am on Quran, but I have a very very passionate approach towards the names, because they've held me in ways I cannot explain. So Al Fatah means to open something with something else, a key. So something leads to something, and then something will lead to something, and then something will lead to something. But we don't know. I didn't know that emotional healing that I was going into every single emotion and feeling the depths of my pain and going through like crying for months over one emotion. I was devastated. I did not know what was happening then, that I needed to be purified enough to be able to connect to Allah's names, right? And once I went through the names of Allah, I cannot explain to you the way it has, the pain that comes up every time you get to know a name of Allah into the depths of the depth of the depth. There is a part of you, not only that it heals, but of course there's a part of you that has to die, right? Because a lot of forgiveness has to happen. The more you see Allah, the more you see yourself as, oh my god, the mistakes that you've made, the realizations that come up through these names. It's incredible, the journey one takes with the names of Allah. If that's something you're interested in, I have on my Patreon a collection of names, and I'm also doing the emotional healing sessions, which are incredibly powerful. They're small exercises. You can become a member on my Patreon, and 7 days You'll get the membership for free, so you can explore what all is in there and connect to the creative side of you and connect to your Allah through your creativity, inshallah. It is the key to opening the heart to Allah, the key to finding the God within. Reciting Ya Fattah is a very powerful practice because even in the midst of despair, it brings the possibility of awakening to love and ecstasy. Its activity in us is opening up the veils of darkness over the heart to uncover the light within. It's I'll explain to you as you do the exercise how profound this name is. It truly awakens you to your darkness so that you are able to lead towards your light. Al-Fatah is the continuous action of all that will be accomplished. You see, we have certain aims and goals. I'm going to earn this much money and leave this much money behind for my family, my children, or whatever. We have these goals like I'll study and then I will become this, and then I will have this status, and and then if you're a housewife, you'll be thinking, oh my God, my child has to study this much, and then that much has to happen, and that's how they're going to look. And then the way they look, people will say, wow, they're so amazing. Your children, oh wow, they went to this university and all that. So there's a constant accomplishment, the need to accomplish something in this world. Allah has already written our accomplishments. Whatever we are going to be doing is already done and written in the book. And so that Ya Fattah is the one who's continuously in action of all that will be accomplished. Like whatever you're here to do, Ya Fattah will push you, guide you, cradle you towards that, what you're here to do. Right? So the more you connect to this name, the more you understand he is the guiding force that will close a door but open another one, and open that door, keep you there for a little bit, whatever your needs are, give you what you need, then shift you to the other direction. But when we go into a space and we start practicing something, we get so attached to it. Like imagine if I was so attached to my emotional journey and stuck on that, and I said, no, I don't need to work through Allah's names, I would never have been able to today understand or even pick up Quran. And I'm not saying, I'm not a scholar, I'm just a student of Quran, and I'm learning it on my own through YouTube videos and all that. But what I'm getting to is that there's a path that he is aware of, and for that path we have to keep moving and evolving and surrendering with tawakkul that he will guide us through it. Whatever I'm here to do, my Allah has written it for me, and for that purpose he's going to mold me and take me through a journey, wherever it may be, towards that what he needs me to do. That's the kind of surrender we need to develop, and not attach ourselves to a certain education, certain status, certain job, or certain relationship. This just defines me, I can't leave this. Not like that. You have to have Allah first. Invocation of Ya Fattah sets up the dynamic of going deeper and deeper in the process of opening. So the more deeper you go, the more something opens up. Your heart chakra opens up. The more in you go, the deeper you see the ocean, and it's like a ocean that has no ending, like no ending whatsoever. So that's Ya Fattah for you from the book. I'm going to do the exercise, and sometimes people like doing the exercise, sometimes people don't. That's totally up to you. It is something that I personally do, and I believe that it has really changed my life. And these exercises are truly not about you being an artist. Let me be very clear that is something you already are. You don't have to become an artist. You are an artist. And excuse me sharpening my pencil. So here we are. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Just bring yourselves into the present moment. This is just an exercise to help you visually understand what Ya Fattah wants us to know. So using my ruler, first I'm going to put my dot, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It could be in the center of the sheet or wherever it is that you find your center. I'm working with 12 centimeter circles. So there we are. I'm going to create 0.5 centimeters, 1 inch first, and then 0.5. Using my compass. Just gonna create my circles. Alhamdulillah. Creativity is like a muscle that you stretch and you expand every time you create something. Sometimes people want to be creative, like just from the beginning, like I should know how to do this. But it's so important to give yourself the space that it's okay for you to not be like perfect, or there's nothing perfect or not perfect, but this is like a nice size to do the zikr in. Always try to go right and left with your compass. This is a very small basic action, but it helps to ground your mind. The sound it creates is also really grounding. I call it the sound of creation, because that's what it is. It's allowing me to create, and I lose myself in that sound. So it's a beautiful. I think there was a sentence in this book that to begin and to open. To begin and to open. So if we look at the inside, that's the beginning, and then we have to open. So maybe say we'll count the circles, not the inside one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 circles, right? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 circle marks the beginning. And then we're going to mark the opening from the 5th circle. So I'm going to take my protractor, place it in the center, get the 10 degrees mark, now the 5th circle is here, so I'm just putting a little mark so I don't, and then using my ruler, this is the opening, this is the beginning, and then this is the opening. I'm just going to do that for the rest of the so to begin and to open. Ya Fattah begins and opens. Ya Fattah. It didn't say we have to read it with another name, but it says here Ya Wahhab, Ya Razak are also part of the same abundance name. So we can bring them in as Ya Razak, Ya Wahhab if that's what you want to do, but it's not a must. So when you want to write the names down, sorry, made a mistake. I usually do my Friday sessions at 10 a.m. for my Quran, and today when I wanted to write about it and nothing would come through, and I asked Allah Mia, why is this happening? And I thought maybe I've made a mistake, and I was guided to Surah Duha that He never leaves you, but for the purpose that He wants me to focus on Ya Fattah, I have to like really connect to the name, that it is He who is allowing me to connect to these names, and the opportunities or ways I need to do the things has to be with full trust that if He says, if He's not giving me the inspiration to write the text down, that means the ayat of the Quran may be too heavy for me, or I'm not ready for it. So if it's not coming to me and I push it because, oh my God, I look so unprofessional, what will people say? Then I become the slave of people, right? So it's very clear that I work for my Allah, and when you work for Allah and you don't follow your gut or your basic instincts, that means what you're doing is you're rejecting Allah's signs that your body is internally guiding to, because you get into the, you get addicted to worshipping also. And you start, because I share so much, so many videos, I'm working on Naqsh to Ramzan and things like that. And it's just like we can get addicted to just going on. And Allah knows that if that's the speed I'm going to be at, then I won't be able to give 100% to everybody. And so for Him to say, no, hold on, I'm not going to let you move forward, is not that I can't do it. It's just you need a day to be just with me. So as a gift, He says, do what you need to the other days, but this is your day with me. So give me the space to be in your, not be giving anything, but rather be in a space of receiving. So that's also something that maybe you needed to hear this, because we can just go into like the rhythm of wanting, doing, and then we have to kind of stop and, be present. So now this is the inside part, is the beginning, and the outside part is opening. So when we open, we expand, right, like that. And when we begin, we start going slowly. So this part is like sorry, the swirl. So I'm going to create a swirl. So it's like this. Excuse my I was going to say summer stomach. I meant Ramzan stomach. It keeps making these really incredibly funny noises, so I don't know if you can hear it or not, but if you can, enjoy it. I wonder where I get my sense of humor from. I have no idea. Okay, so, well, of course from Allah. But yeah, sometimes people say, oh, you can't have, like, you can't do giggly things when you're talking about Allah, or you're not very serious about it. And I think, why would He gift us sense of humors if He didn't want us to be happy or funny? Or, when we laugh, we're peaceful, we're having fun. What's wrong with just that, right? Sometimes I feel like people get too serious about life. We need to slightly ease up our brain a bit. So I'm just going a swirl. There we go. That's my umbrella. I want to tell you guys, like, when you write the zikr, the names of Allah, with me through these sessions, and inside this, you might think it's just like, oh, it's just an act, oh, it's just doing art. It's actually an act of Ibadat that grounds you in a way that is so powerful. You actually start connecting to the Creator through your creativity, which means that you unlock and unblock your creative power in your life. You're able to create your own self through Allah's guidance. The more you get closer to a certain name, the more you write it down on the paper, the more you absorb that attribute inside you, the more you allow the Creator to help you be created in the bestest version. So it's not just an act of like, oh, just beautifying, let's just do this. It is so incredibly powerful when you think of it as a way that He is allowing you to create yourself. It's not living yourself and not enjoying yourself, it's create yourself. Such an incredible power in your being. So when you look at this, I'm going to give like an arrow here, just as a grip to, to show that this is going inwards, meaning the beginning. This is the beginning. And as you begin the journey to Ya Fattah, you also get expanded through this journey. And the reason I'm going like this triangle shape is like the arrow coming outwards. Just so that in a visual sense, when we think of Ya Fattah now, we'll be able to see Ya Fattah is the one who allows me to begin a certain journey and then expands me to open up different doors. Inshallah ta'ala. And then let's go like that. So when you write the names, you're going to go like that, because then you're building that energy through the visual creation of expanding. So I'm just going to do this, and then you can continue with writing the name Ya Fattah, and I will read for you what my insights were, so that you get, as you're working on your piece, you're able to hear the insights and hopefully inshallah ta'ala be closer to Him through that explanation. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Fattah, it is the key to opening the heart to Allah. It is the key to opening the heart to Allah, the key to finding God within. The one thing that stood by was God within for me. What is the meaning of God within? To get closer to Allah, meaning to go within, to get closer to Him, to journey within, we need to make the intention to go within. We have to have some kind of inspiration that wants us to go within. Something has to be experienced by us that makes us feel like, fine, I cannot take this anymore. And we have to, like, we kind of just turn inwards. A lot of people think of that as like the dark night of the soul, losing some loved ones or whatever it is for different people. Something in your life that happens that makes you, that Allah, to get closer to Allah, we need to make the intention to go within. Al-Fattah means both to begin, meaning the intention, that we need to have that intention that leads us to this journey. Something has to happen which will lead us to wanting to go within. Which means when we make the intention to get closer to Allah, we also start the journey towards Him. Remember the image that when we begin the journey, meaning when we do the intention, I am done with everything else, I'm going to turn to Allah. When we make that intention, in that moment, as we are making the intention to begin the journey to Allah, we have already started expanding in our heart. So Ya Fattah not only begins it, but also opens the different ways that we can connect to Allah. So if you say, I want to connect to Allah, then Allah will open the ways that you are able to connect to Allah. So for me, I couldn't understand getting closer to Allah through Quran. I couldn't do it through namaz. I couldn't do it through any other way. But for me, my intention was, I always wanted to be close to Allah, but I couldn't find a way to be closer to Allah. So when I made my intention, Allah, I want to be close to you. I want to be of service to you. I want to do something that will bring me peace. I need peace in my life. And so when I made my intention, that intention led to opening of different spaces, connecting to Allah through art, through writing, through blocking other distractions, removing relationships that were draining me. So different things started happening and things started opening up, because once you make that intention to get closer to Him, we also start the journey towards Him. But what leads us to make that intention? It's very important to go deeper into the understanding that what was that intention? Why did I have a clear intention, and was it based on fear? Was it out of curiosity? Was it me feeling extremely needy? Or was it out of desperation? Or was it out of love? For me, it was complete desperation. I really needed the intention that led me to pray and want to be close to Allah was desperation. For me, it was not love, it was not curiosity, it was not fear, it was not neediness. I was desperate. And I remember those moments where I was losing relationships, fights were happening, I couldn't make sense to anybody, nobody would make sense to me, like everything within me had shut down. I became numb, I became silent, I didn't know where to go, and I was not making sense. And in that moment, in desperation, in complete darkness, when I made an intention, say, Allah, I want to get close to you, He guided me. He opened the doors. He made my body behave in ways I still turn today and turn, my God, what was I doing? And I kept telling people around me, in Urdu we say, mera rukh badal gaya hai. Like earlier I was running after people, status, clothes, to look good, to show good. Oh, I'm so happy. I've got everything sorted. I'm like the most cool and collected human being alive. I'm living the dream sort of feeling. And that's what mine. And like somebody actually told me, said, oh Hamna, you are living a dream life. The life you live is a dream for many others. And I I was like, wow, are you serious? Like, are you kidding me? That I just thought, okay, hang on, what am I showing? Because what I'm feeling is not that I'm living a dream, but what I'm showing to people, the whole drama was that I'm living in peace, I'm living in harmony, I'm living in joy, but it wasn't the truth. And so I kind of had to I was desperate to kind of feel that dream that I was living in, but I wasn't living in the dream. And so I really became I don't know how to put it, but anyway, I I wanted to be happy, and I wanted to be content, and I wanted to be at peace with who I am, and I became very desperate. And that was my intention. I wonder what it was for you, because it's everybody's has different. And if it was love, oh, I love Allah, and so I want to get to know him more. And I probably would say that today, but not then. I was desperate. I'm very clear about what led me to make that dua to turn to Allah. And then there was this a kind of like almost, because I was pretending that I'm living a dream life, I also had a bit of arrogance in me. Like, I've got it all sorted, like on the surface. And I'm like, I've got it all sorted. So my life is great. So show me the path where I can be like of assistance to others. And it was always about, others. How do I do things for others, and people pleasing and that sort of stuff. And even like to gain Allah's love, I wanted to do things for others so that Allah will love me, right? That's the kind of attitude I had. And yeah, that led to a very dark place, but not today. So whatever. Anyway, what makes us want to intentionally choose to walk towards Allah is the most important thing. It's so important to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that's making me turn towards Allah? Because that's your soul point. That's what Allah wants you to feel. And as a gift, He gave me desperation. As a gift, He gave me my arrogance. Because if I wasn't arrogant, I wouldn't have the ego death that I went through, right? The pain wouldn't have been there. So Alhamdulillah, He made me feel a certain way so that I could rise above that and see myself as how much work I needed to do, and trust me, a lot. But anyway, what makes us want to intentionally choose to walk towards Allah is very important. When we do, I asked myself, when do we most call upon Him? When is it that you have called upon Him? When is it that moment that you thought, okay, all doors are closing and I just need to get to Allah? I just can't do it anymore. That agitation that you get, oh my God, just not making sense. And so that feeling, when do we most call upon Him? So when in your life have you called upon Him? You see, in joy we thank and praise Him because we feel Him around us. He's always there. Oh my God, so happy, everything's great, la la la. But it is in pain we call upon Him, in desperation. When we have tried everything and nothing seems to open, no pathway is visible, we call upon Him. What means is that when we reach a certain threshold of pain, when I could no more live in a life that was portrayed as a dream life, but internally was killing me, in that pain, the pain had reached a certain level where I could take no more. The darkness had reached a place where I could see no light no more. He helped me get to that level. And it is in those moments when we turn to Allah to ask Him to be there for us, right? And the key point here is the pain. The pain, what truly we experience, that pain that we experience through anything. And and in your pain you feel unworthiness, you feel loneliness. It happens because of a betrayal, somebody break your heart, something happens, like the vase kind of crashes and breaks apart, and then you're like, oh my God, So you have to reach a certain place, then you make a certain intention. So you have to feel the pain at the core of your being, in your body, in your mind, in your soul, and that pain is what turns you to Allah in your desperation or whatever it is that happened with you. And then you ask Allah to make himself visible. And in those experiences, when we're sitting and feeling whatever it is that we're feeling, the darkness, we feel betrayal and deep loneliness and unworthiness and the feeling of rejection, all that. Oh my God, what have I done? How many times have I ditched myself and all that sort of stuff? When we go through these experiences, now understand that Allah is the one giving these experiences, right? Because he's the one who's writing the story. When we go through these experiences, we feel a certain loss, pain, sadness, guilt, grief, etc. When we feel these, our heart feels broken. You see, a certain experience happens which leads you to make a dua out of desperation or neediness towards Allah, that I'm done with the world. I need you right now so that please I can move forward. In that moment, Allah makes you feel a certain pain of loss, of loneliness, of being unworthy. And through that feeling of loss, pain, sadness, grief, and guilt, our heart gets cracked. It feels very, very, very broken, right? So you see the trickle effect. Something happened that led you to desperation, blah, blah, blah. And then it basically, all of that was the experience, the darkness, the pain, all of that happened so that you could open your heart. So your heart could be broken. When our heart feels broken, we feel the pain. It is in that moment when we feel like real pain is when we feel our heart is broken. What it means is, heartbroken means that you lose attachment to whatever you were attached to, and suddenly that attachment is removed and you feel a loss. In that pain, we call upon Allah through the most genuine, real, raw and authentic crying. When we turn to Allah in pain, we don't think about, oh, Allah is going to be like, am I looking nice when I cry? Or you don't, let me just wear my best clothes and then sit and pray to Allah because, he is looking at me and I need to dress up just to make that dua and that kind of thing. Nothing of that sort, right? You become so real, you're so genuine, you're so raw, you're so in the ground, you can't get out of your sajda. You completely become earth, mitti, like you become genuinely, you just become one. You recognize the depth of who you truly are as clay, and you just go in sajda and you become so real, so authentic. And when you cry of that pain to your Allah, he hears your calls all through the seven heavens. So every time you've gone into a sajda and cried to him, the most real, it's like your soul is in so much pain and it calls upon your Allah. That cry is what actually you needed to get to so that you could open up. So the beginning journey was the intention, and the breaking of the heart is your opening. It's the experiences that he makes us go through that causes us to feel the pain. And in pain, we turn to him to show us the way. The breaking of the heart causes the pain. In pain, we turn to him. He is Ya Muti, the cause of all causes. He is Ya Mubdi, the cause to begin. He blesses us an experience where pain enters our hearts to split open from within. So we can start our journey towards his light in our heart and detach from the world, which was the perceived cause of the pain. You think your mother is giving you pain, you think your spouse is giving you pain, you think your dog's giving you pain, you think your children's giving you pain, you think your career is giving you pain. Whatever you think is that thing that is giving you pain is actually not the cause of the pain. The cause of the pain is Ya Mubdi and Ya Muti. that he is the one who's placed this person in your life, and he is giving you the pain, but actually the cause of the pain is beyond that person. And Allah is gifting you this person to give you the pain so that your heart breaks. For when your heart breaks, your cries are going to be real, raw, authentic, and genuine. And in that pain, the real cause of the pain was so that you could make the intention to turn to him. You see, you could not have had the intention, like in the beginning, as I said, you could not have the intention, the purity of your intention would not have been there if you were doing it on a superficial level. You had to go through the pain to turn to your Allah, to make the intention so real, so authentic, so that he would take you, he would, help you and create new paths for you. But you had to be genuine in the intention which you turn towards him for. So the key to opening the heart, we understand that to get to the opening of the heart, that was the goal, that when your heart cracks open with pain is when you turn to your Allah, right? But what truly did open the heart? The pain, meaning the darkness. So the key to opening the heart is the darkness we feel in our hearts caused by this dunya, meaning the people around you, the betrayal, the sadness, the anxiety, the feeling of loss, the detachment to those around us. All of that we feel so we can experience the pain that pulls us back to our hearts to be purified. It is the people and experiences that happen and bless us with pain that are the ones who Allah guides us to understand Ya Fattah. Ya Fattah, you could not understand if you didn't go through a certain amount of pain for you to intentionally turn to Allah, and he will open the doors for you in a way that you've never ever imagined. That pain was the key. That pain was the key to making us intentionally turn to Allah. And that intention of wanting to go within is what allows us to find God within us. If our intention to go within us was based on something negative, then we would not find God. If it was out of anger, or well, even if that it was out of anger, you would find God within you, because that anger would lead you inwards, right? Thank all those people in your life today who have helped you to be where you are right now. They led you to Ya Fattah, to open the doors to get closer to your Allah. If they didn't give you the pain, you wouldn't have felt the need to turn to Allah. You would have been attached to these people, to want more from them. So the reason Allah gives you the pain, I was going to say give you, but it turned out gifts you. Basically, we have to look at every experience that Allah gives us, good and bad, as a blessing. So whatever it is this person is bringing to you that is giving you pain, it is so that you turn inwards towards your heart. It is that pain that this person's giving you which helps you turn to Allah. And that pain is the beginning, the key to opening your heart towards Allah, because this outside person blocks you, hurts you, betrays you, makes you anxious, whatever it is, abuses you. When this happens, you don't look at this person, you look at what was beyond this person. Allah is making this person hurt you, because nothing happens without the will of Allah. Now, don't look at this person, remove this person from the middle, connect directly to Allah. He's the one who allowed this person to hurt you, so that's the cause that happened. When this cause happened to you, you felt that this part of your life is all closed. As you realized this part was closed, you connected to your Allah. Because this was dark outside, it led you to inside light. That's the journey. When this happens, when the pain happens, the pain is the key to cut off from this person and turn towards your Allah and expect everything from him. I hope that you get what I'm trying to say here. If you do leave me a comment, always let me know, because that's a beautiful way of energy exchanging, and it always lifts me reading your messages. And if you understand and whatever comes through, if there's any insights for other people to read also and be inspired by your journey, inshallah ta'ala, I'm sending you lots of love, light and peace, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. And if you share the artwork on social media, do please tag me. If you want to book me for one-to-one sessions, you're most welcome to get all the information down below. I love you lots. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Allah Hafiz.